Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one and only master propaganda who loves like defender of the fatherland, off you to a 2v2 own Campbells Convoy. In the south it is Jesulin and Sawn fighting here for the British Empire, the Commonwealth. Here with the 1st Armour Division, tasked with an attempt to outflank the Germans, only to run into the Germans. Here with 101st Airborne and Bismarck. Here forming up with the 15th Panzer Division. We've got Italian coastal troops there for 101st Airborne. Bismarck with breakthrough. Sawn with the Australians. And that just leaves Jesulin to make a pick here. As always, big hearty thanks to my patron supporters for the continued generous and wonderful support of the Propagandacast. Keeps making all these videos possible. Also keeps the cat from biting off my fingers. And a big thanks to those who keep commenting and liking on them. The videos will help immensely with YouTube algorithms, and also from the cat breaking my kneecaps. So, MG42 there for 101st Airborne on top of the coastal troops. We've got grenadiers lying here for Bismarck. Sections on the way for Jesulin and Sawn. Points are being nabbed here and there. Pioneers poking northwards. Machine gun moving down the centre. Sappers on the move. Overall, obviously, so far, nothing significant happening here within the opening moments of the game. Bit of barbed wire here in this Churchill tank with a clearly European finish and not a desert finish on it. Machine gun setting up here. Shop. Machine gun on the centre as well there. From the German side. More Italians out there for 101st Airborne. This is living up to the Italian part of his name. Section number 2 for Jesulin, the first section though. Getting a good old German salute, then an MG42 with a 900-1200 round a minute per burst right into them. And of course, the official number is 1200 rounds per minute, but in reality, particularly what went on, many gunners would have the machine gun modified with a heavier bolt to lower the rate of fire because the gun itself could not manage the high rate of fire of the MG42. Of course, this will not stop them from then towards the very end of the war developing the MG45 with an even higher rate of fire. Probably because at that point of the war, they probably realised that, you know, things breaking apart at that stage did not matter too much, and they just needed something that could spray an ungodly amount of lead down the other end. Grenadiers being hit here by the Vickers machine gun. Up north, sappers poking about. They got mortars out for Sawn to blast his opponents into smithereens from a nice comfortable distance. South side here, Tantra's been caught here by Australians and a section. Like some pioneers. Might have had some issues there. North sappers with the grenadiers to the pioneers. We got another section for Jesulin. One of his sections equipped with the scope Lee Enfield. Grenadiers going to be in a bit of a sticky spot here. South side. Sawn finds his men in a bit of a uncomfortable position. In fact, his mortar crew has been spotted by a few plucky Italians. We also got Sawn there with more infantry sections and not more Australians, which is worth pointing out. Machine trying to catch a German flank here and narrowly does so, but leaves his flank exposed here to the Vickers. So yeah, I think here 101st Airborne makes the right decision, gets his men out of there, though might still end up costing him a bit. Luftwaffe company for Bismarck. As for 101st Airborne, we're not seeing any tech out of him as of yet. Field infirmary for Jesulin, making sure of course his men are healed and get themselves a nice hot cup of tea and some crumpets. Bunkers for 101st Airborne. Vickers laying news here, grenadiers being on, but the infantry sections further up north here. Pioneers hard at work, seizing terrain away from the British forces. Grenadiers push back. In fact, Bismarck here definitely stuck around for too long. Didn't consider like what might happen, he retreats too late. Maybe he thought about it too late. Either way, Grenadiers scored white. Something worth keeping in mind, of course, is like, you know, how many units are about. Like, you know, what are your chances of getting out there live? You know, if say you're being pursued by 3 sections. Obviously, at that stage, you really need to get out there fast because these guys have some kind of silly DPS, even on the move against retreating units. So you definitely need to like ensure you got like a good amount of health before trying to retreat against like 3 infantry sections, especially if one is upgraded already. Swarm of the platoon command post. 101st Airborne with a Panzer Grenadier Company, medic bunker, Black 30s for Bismarck, a lot of stuff here happening. British forces here really piling onto that field point. In the south, 101st Airborne striking ahead here with an Italian vanguard of reservists. Not the strongest of vanguards, so that's for sure. Bismarck cancelling his flag 30 for 2-1 until being called in here. Interesting enough, not rapid production to get out 2-1 faster.
Our territory is exposed. We must
I do wonder about that one. It's indicating he's got something else planned. He does. He wants to go for like a mechanized assault group. Relatively fast, that would be an interesting decision to make, but so far, we're not seeing like any sort of like indication of that. And it might be a bit of a wild guess than anything. Medic Bank, of course, you're finding cheap reinforcements at 3 for 101st Airborne. Armour on the way for Jesulin. 2-1 for Bismarck.
The enemy has taken a victory point.
And really looking rough here for the German supply situation at the moment, with the Allies very much controlling most of the point. In fact, we almost got a 5 times difference in fuel per minute. When it comes to, it's not exactly ideal for the Axis forces. They're so far behind in the field race. This could very allow the Allied players to decide to go for a lot of light vehicles, also have to race ahead on tack. This would be devastating for the Axis forces with the current situation. 2-1 rushing in here, engaging with its machine and gewehr. Jaeger's rolling up here for Bismarck. The second Humber for Jesulin. There, the Humber out here. And the 2-1, of course, only equipped machine gun is absolutely powerless in the face of an autocannon. He is going for the Panzerbüchse, but that will still take a bit of a while. He got lucky that the Italians arrived just in time to shoo away the armoured car there with anti-tank grenades. 6-pounder gun there for Sawn. Bishops being prepared. In the south, the Allied forces continue to advance slowly, but uncontested. So Jesulin still yet to pick a battle, he remains elusive on that one. And there you go, 2-1 upgraded with a Panzerbüchse. Pioneers, they're very much trying to hold the line with a brave face, but I think that face is going to fall a bit flat soon. Training for Jesulin's infantry. Sawn, I think, has yet to train his men, believing that training is something that happens to other people, I guess.
Has 3 command points.
Got a Grenadier scoring veterans 1. Bismarck still doing nothing with his command points. No mechanized assault groups. No rapid productions. Nothing.
One of our capture points.
Command bunker for 101st Airborne Units. Medic bunker there. Bishops for Sawn, which would definitely make that a bit more risky. North field point again being struck here. We do have here Bismarck with his Jaegers from G43s here.
Has claimed our sector.
So outside the Italians catching the sappers there on their manpower point there.
Can initiate breakthrough tactics to recapture ground.
Very easy, close being wiped out again. You see Bismarck here underestimating, I think, French's ability. In this case, it does pay out for him, but that could have easily gone very wrong for Bismarck again. That's definitely something you do want to keep in mind again. Bishops there on the way for Sawn. Well, if you're ever in doubt, just ask yourself what would Vergleichen do, and then do the opposite. At least when it comes to unit preservation. Yeah, officer scores everything infantry company that boosts his machine guns and Italian troops. Obviously, they're more or less all veterans who won, but there's still the other end of it, which is that they gain experience faster. That still has plenty of value there for 101st Airborne. Plus, you could call in the officer who would then also benefit from it. There's definitely plenty of utility here for it for Mr. 101st Airborne. That is worth keeping in mind here. We do have the mechanized assault group here for Bismarck after all. It doesn't look like it's going to rush it out, so looks like my guess was sort of on point. The cylinders are being a bit late. Still good one for rapid production, but it would appear like that was actually, you know, part of the plan. He just needs to execute the plan. There we go.
Have been relinquished to us.
Mechanized assault group there, armoured Panzer Grenadiers, if you will, in a half track. Your Panzer Grenadier. Those would have really been the best of the Panzer Grenadiers with the best of the equipment. Yeah, rushing out there, typically this would have been part of the 1st Battalion of a Panzer Division. Fun fact there. Rushing in here with the Mittlere Schützenpanzerwagen. Starstorm dropping out there with NG-42 and their G-43s. Bishop moving forward aggressively applied here by Sawn against the Germans. The upgrade, the 251, will just keep it for our actual... he's upgrading to the Pioneers for the Sapper standing off in the south. Side note, I really feel like this will also make a great Panzer Grenadier skin. This is a Grenadier skin. Anyways, Starstorm they're holding out here. Got the support elements for Bismarck. And there you go, Bishop bombarding again the bunker here, opposite making a big fat target. Plus, the position in the middle of the road, that's another element, which is, it's going to be like an area just going to be moving a lot here. So, you just more likely just get lucky and hit something here. So, this is something you have to keep in mind with positioning bunkers like this. Like, you know, A, can your opponent go for artillery, but also B, if they can, you're positioning, you know, your very large priority target in an area where it might just by accident catch a lot of other units. That's basically what 101st Airborne here basically did. I mean, sure, it's nice and practical for him, but it's also nice and practical for the enemy's artillery. So, that's the sort of question you have to ask yourself. How much easier am I making the job not just for me, but for my opponent's artillery? If you're making the job too easy, you might want to reconsider things. Second Bishop halfway down here, Fort Sawn. Jesulin continues to wait on his battle group choices here. Starstorm here holding off against the advancing second from north with the MG-42 and the G-43s. Section advancing the Bren guns. We got the second Bishop almost done. Grenades off here, and there you go, 2-1 with the Panzergruppe. Artillery kaput. Bismarck definitely misclicking there and extending his reach. Starstorm there, but he's now being the major thing he held in the northern line. His whole thing just melts. We do have the Sturm here to the rescue. Sturm is there. Nasty roughing, at least they didn't have Canadian shock, otherwise that could have been a potential wipe. Again, this unit preservation leaves, again, some bit of advice there. Germans holding sort of 50-50, but it's definitely close. And the Starstorm got wiped. Again, too slow to retreat there. Apparently didn't make use of the blinding shot here of the Sturm either. That was a bit of a slip there. But yeah, again, try not to retreat in particular units when you're up against the Brits. There's a Humber nearby. Too late, or they will more or less guarantee to get a wipe on you. Howitzer of 101st Airborne south side, Italian coastal service making some headway due to the fact because there is absolutely no British presence there whatsoever, which tends to make progress very easy. Germans he added Grenadiers with the MG-42, but they're standing out in the open with a flare this. Again, Bismarck might want to work a bit on his unit preservation. It does feel like, you know, a bit of a glaring issue on his side there. So that combined with the 101st Airborne's heavy reliance on Italian coastal service has rather meant there's a bit of an advantage there for the Allies in terms of casualties. Never mind victory points. Mine goes off here though. Small win there for the Italians. Good holding into cover there. Marder 3 for Bismarck. Marder 3 Ausführung M. According to mount on the Czechoslovakian Panzer 38T chassis. Excellent, reliable chassis of Czechoslovakian origin.
Our front line failed. 250 points remain.
Which you see usage for a variety of things, including, of course, Hetzer towards the end of the war there. We got the Howitzer ready for the 101st Airborne, and looks like he planning a second one's just a... Oh, he is planning a second one already. He's repositioning the medic bunker a bit from the main road. It's still kind of close to it, and it's also kind of close to this, so I fear 101st Airborne isn't making the job that much more difficult for the British artillery. We got Sawn there finally taking up, and as for Jesulin, we also have the tech. We got foot guards, thumbs up. Almost got a full-on wipe there with the Bishop, and it's 25-pounder gun. And well, of course, in this case, I mean, not much do we take a direct hit from a 25-pounder gun, loses most of the unit. I mean, you know. You'd have to, like, be able to see into the future to, like, go, oh, bollocks and then retreat in time. Rennie's about to get wiped out though. Drawing the Stummel just a bit. Marder in reserve here. Blinding shot to the combo here now. Marder hits the bloody half track. Jürgen, you Dummkopf, do we look British to you? Well, we're using camouflage. The English don't use that. They're too dumb. Anyways, Crusader there for Jesulin. He's fine going for heavy armour.
Territory sector lost.
That might be a black print to get some churches on the way for him soon enough. We've got two large houses here now out of 101st Airborne. I mean, utilised correctly, at least for some luck. They could have a lot of damage there. Go medic bunker number 2, already being torn apart. At this point, they actually make more sense for like position is something around here, so the natural terrain can actually absorb some of the fire from the howitzers. This is another good piece of advice. Possible with large priority targets. If you can, make use of natural terrain features to obscure the building from direct artillery fire from the enemy. Another bunker from the 1st Airborne, this time with Bulwark, but still kind of like sticking in the same place. Not really making use of the natural terrain features to, again, make it a bit tougher fending guns like this let into it. Germans, though, need to pick up the pace here. They're losing ground, they're losing men, more crucially. Vibram here for Bismarck. I'm not too sure that Vibram's going to be his best pick at this point. Really fine, they're almost taking out a machine gun team there. Wipe section and a machine gun team. That was pretty handy there for the Brits. Not for the Brits, the Germans and artillery. A thumbs up to 101st Airborne on that one at least. Obviously still a lot of work to be done, but you know, it's a good start. Got machine guns nest being set up. Pioneers poking in, but we'll need some support I think there for the best success. 101st Airborne sending another wave of troops towards the centre. We got a mortar there being spotted. Artillery, more Crusaders for Jesulin. Well, meanwhile, while he does have the tech, he's not doing anything with it. Section rushing at the Pioneers. Again, they're on their own, unsupported. There you go. Either all the points are neutral or they're German. Ranked hit from the Bishop, almost saying that the town squad do get a Molotov off. They wanted to take me, but it was technically a Molotov cocktail with a grenade fuse, basically from the impact grenade that we activated. And technically, of course, that hit that here, that would have been toast since that would hit. Well, obviously, these were actually also closed on top, so not with that. Yeah, the open top that would have been GG for that crew.
Ready for combat.
Mard number 2 here out of Bismarck and Das Fahrzeug. More big barrages there running through the enemy artillery zone. I feel like it's a bit risky there by Jesulin. Versus 400, 399. Axis forces slowly clawing the way back into this match. Certainly coming at a bit of a cost. Certainly having access to this much artillery is certainly not hurting. Another pack 45 1st Airborne up north for any Crusaders. Need to get the Marders in there to hold. Too late. At this point, Bismarck has only just 2 infantry squads, so we can probably replace them. But we probably should also work better on his unit for station, since he might not need to replace them as bad. Got Jesulin withdrawing his Humber here. I think at this point of the match, with all that's going on, the Humber has very much hit, shall we say, the ceiling in terms of usability. And around the waist, he just gets back. Thumbs up there. Crusaders going at it. Stimuli by Nego. Double Marders engaging the advancing Crusaders. Might take out one of the Crusaders, see with a bit of luck. Got it. Turret goes sky high. The mid-season, of course, we got the houses still being blasted. surprisingly enough, they haven't really tried to counter the howitzers. Just focused on the bunkers.
We should spend our munitions at once.
Bit of shooting there, 172 to 397.
Commandant.
Black Prince being paired in for Jesulin. Bet you 2 on one of the howitzers. Is this what they're doing? They're getting something done, it just feels like it's all forgotten. Oh, got one of the bishops there with some nice counter battery fire there, obviously bunching up all your artillery in one place. When your opponent has some very large howitzers, it's not an ideal move either. Again, the question you should always ask yourself, am I making the enemy artillery's job easier or harder? If the answer is you're making it easier, you might want to reconsider what you're doing. 149 to 397.
Five command points available.
Good shot there, definitely got his bishop to the front line.
Infantry have fallen.
Wipe the Yanks of great hit and then gets knocked out. We got more bishops to Sawn. There's 2 bishops. In a short amount of time there, they've just gone completely critical. Not exactly ideal. We got more Jaegers for the Bismarck as he finally starts replacing some of all the infantry losses he suffered at this point of the match. Axis forces do seem to be somewhat catching up, but now Jesulin has conducted the ritual. He's laid down the sacrifices, and he has summoned the Black Prince from an alternate dimension where it actually saw service in North Africa. Well, what that dimension actually looks like, we will never know and probably never should.
Jaeger light infantry on station.
It's probably something like Red Alert on methamphetamines. Section charging at 2 Italian troops. We got 127 to 397. South side of the Italian troops busy.
The sector has been secured. That's enemy infantry! Keep them back!
Schützenbase armor will be applied.
Shots on the way to Bismarck. Thumbs up. The really only benefits at the moment is one virulent flak panzer. As for 101st Airborne, it's just more bunkers. And we're noticing none of the outer players have yet to take for their panzer company.
We have lost control of a victory point.
British force in the south here, attacking into light defense position 101st Airborne. Centre being held, north side being grabbed here by section and Bismarck. Oh, it's going to need to get some forces in to deal with that. There we go. Black Prince on the field. Misses. That's lucky. There we go. Mars engaging, Panther on top as well here. Mars going in the hunt here. This could probably be a bit of an overreach by Jesulin, who's not careful. In fact, all the infantry treats. Fortunately for us, wasn't a Panther trick. Panther was a Panther trick, but yeah. Looks like Matilla's allowed to lead in mostly one piece here. Great light there for Jesulin. Guessing Bismarck was concerned about something else and decided not to pursue. Command tanks of Bismarck, not the Tiger tank. That is an interesting choice. I don't think it's a bad one. I mean, a command tank, I think is overall underrated, but it certainly is nonetheless a surprising choice here. We got Swan with more bishops, and of course, got those 2 massive howitzers just trying to randomly explode things at this point. I'm sure that's giving the Allied commanders a bit of a case of indigestion. Because this must probably feel a bit uncomfortable for them, knowing that at any point of time, something of theirs might just explode. There you go. Befehls, Panzerkampf, Fierce arrived in Bismarck. Sawn preparing the grants. No archers for him. There you go. Black Prince are being hammered by the Troop Martyrs. Nasty volley there. Expensive vulnerability kicks in the line. I like the sappers are going in. More bombardment here, close to the edge of the Allied base. Oh, direct hit on the bishop! Are you sure this is safe, Gavin? Don't worry. The Italians can't hit anything. And then kaboom.
A command passer has been assigned. Deploy at
There you go. Command tank boosting everything here is definitely going to be handy there for Bismarck. I mean, it's definitely not good if you've got like a lot of like armored stuff like this to boost it. We got Jesulin called in here against the positions of Bismarck. Drop cap from the Germans, definitely making things a bit tough here for the Allies in terms of the victory points, but they still have the lead. The Germans are certainly working hard on reducing that.
Victory point lost.
Taking him with the Wind and the Stummel. Second bishop down. Wow.
The enemy has taken a victory point.
This gun crews must be careful because they're clearly not happy. Anyways, Crusader there pushed back. More bombardment here. That's like, I think at least 3 bishops just taken out by counter-artillery fire there from those howitzers. It's only making it look a bit silly they kept focusing everything on those bunkers and not on the howitzers. Because those howitzers are definitely starting to take a bit of a toll. Multiple units wiped, several bishops defrocked in a most explosive manner.
Enemy forces have claimed our territory.
111 to 185. The Black Prince keeps at it.
Have captured a victory
Limits
point.
its success.
Now get back into fight.
Might want to commit some larger force to grab the southern point back there. So northwards. Allied players about to get the build up the victory point lead again here. There we go. 109 is 285. Command takes off the rest of this 4C. Might be in a bit of trouble there as we got the armoured fists of Jesulin and the British Empire reports. There will be commanders that could flake in and exploit that, perhaps.
We have lost control of a victory point. Increase security.
There we go, pack white, 101st Airborne will not wait close to the front line. And easily destroyed here by Jesulin. That was definitely not an ideal pack move, and he's also got so many packs in the first place, so... I mean, get the Black Prince and everything, but I still feel like 4 pack 40s might be a bit overkill. 85 to 185. Bunker's been prepared, Punny's pinned down. Fire the Vickers need some support up there, but Bismarck apparently can't really be bothered to send in the tank to clear that out. And there you go. Heading northwards here. Jesulin's Crusade on the Black Prince, and that also means the flank is open to the Martyrs if he's careful. So proved to have a bit of a detrimental effect there on him.
The enemy has claimed our territory for their own.
So heavy crew shot there against the Martyrs, but the Black Prince still charges that, and the Jaegers moving in as well here. Massive touch strike here, creeping barrage against 101st Airborne. Trap landing spell against the Black Prince there. Then instead got the Black Stummel wrecked here by Jesulin's Black Prince. 59 to 285. We got grants for Sawn, sappers for Jesulin. Got an ace houser there by out for 101st Airborne. That is some nasty stuff. Another virulent here for Bismarck at this point. 55 to 285. Allied forces need to get their job done on those victory points soon, or the victory points will get them done. First grant they're almost done for Sawn and the British Empire.
A Wirbelwind is deploying to the field.
Fresh virulent dart here for Bismarck and Deutschland. We got SM2 taking their job, coming down by the Martyrs. First grant almost done there for Sawn. Want to get some foot guards out there, though. Also, just might want to make sure stuff doesn't get blown up by enemy houses. You can go in front of the base now. That certainly is not going to make things easier for the British. 55 to 60. Axis forces now have the trump campaign on the Allies. Their map control is also extending, and they are starting to somewhat catch up in terms of casualties, well, at least infantry-wise. But vehicle-wise, they absolutely are doing it.
250 points left.
And amusingly enough, again, like half the casualties of inflicted minimum have been from the howitzers. Nice dodge, roughneck. More Martyrs out here for Bismarck, because Martyrs flak panzers that one command tank. Right down here by the triple pack formation there. Got 55 to 18, the clock continues to tick against the Allies slowly but steadily. Still have a lead, but how much longer can they maintain said lead?
Victory point is under enemy control.
North continues. Massive formation north to try and take out that Black Prince. Looks like Bismarck's had enough.
The Allies have only 200 points.
You could use Blitzkrieg for some just to swarm it now. Maybe use the command tanks bonus. Got another Crusader there for Jesulin. Looks like Bismarck does not have that plan after all. And the 1st Airborne with even more Pack 40s. Barney's run straight into the Black Prince and take a face full of high explosives. 55 to 180. The Allied lead is steadily shrinking here. Moving ahead now. Black Prince mounting in the way there. Mounting on it. There go. Blitzkrieg activated. It's a swarming Marder assault. Black mounting will pull back a bit here. I think it does make a lot of sense. We've got the artillery line pulling in with Jesulin. Marder down. I don't think it's going to matter too much against the Blitzkrieg Marders. And there you go. Jesulin's Black Prince has been downed here. Just continuing in there to get some Marders. Marder's shot down. Marder's getting knocked out, but the artillery units are still able to target some hits there. Absolutely brutal engagement between Bismarck and Jesulin. And things are about to get worse, as without that, Bismarck has little instinctable. There you go, though. 101st Airborne to the rescue, saving his teammate there. Thumbs up. Almost taking out the 2nd Crusader there. Losses are skyrocketing now.
We have a new Marder tank destroyer.
More Marders for Bismarck. More Marders.
The enemy have taken our territory.
Got the houses hard away again here. 5571. Another section for Sawn. Got another anti-tank and through here. Sawn is starting to look pretty rough there, and it's not looking much better for Jesulin either, truth be told. Sweeping push up north here from Jesulin. Map control, though, is starting to look weaker and weaker. The Allies force active falling behind the Axis in terms of overall size here. We do have one heroic depleted Brand section, at least buying a few minutes here, seconds. But even that is only for so long before they have to give up against the sheer numbers the German army employs. More Marders for Bismarck. More Marders.
Marder tank destroyer is ready for combat.
5540,
The
137.
enemy has taken a victory point.
Section down here, there, flak fire. Sappers getting absolutely ruined here. Rush in the center here by Sawn. Well, rush, but he's definitely pushing what he's got left. 55 is on 21. Further north, the Axis advance here continues to remain frozen in place for the capital, holding the point here. Massive strike here, ripping through Axis positions there. We'll boom here, then more artillery fire. 5506. Allies could still snatch a victory, I think, under the German noses. To some extent, of course, the northern forces makes that much more difficult. We got another building here for Bismarck, so things looking very tough here for the British forces against the German Reich. More dividends, of course, there for Bismarck, halfway done, almost done, in fact. That's 101st Airborne, he's just flooding resources, hasn't tacked it all there.
Wirbelwind on station.
I actually went for a 5th squad of these chaps.
Of a capture point. Enemy down to 75
55 and 75, 72. I mean, the forces are almost from behind the Germans in terms of victory points now. Definitely not an auspicious omen there. Far from it. 60 versus 55. 54, there we go. Axis force of the taking the Allies in terms of victory points. Definitely not a great sign. So far for us, the benefit by now. Things are starting to rapidly unravel here. Poorly knit sweater. 36 versus 55, 34. 32. 30, 28, clock is ticking, 26,
the enemy is down to their last 25
24, 20. Allied forces frankly throwing themselves at the pump, but it's just leading to, well, less cohesive effort, but the Axis force can actually more easily push back. So it's helped again that they have a significantly smaller force. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the major issues was them just not taking out these two houses. They did an immense amount of damage, and particularly just crippling and actually ruining the Allied artillery ability, but also, like, in some cases, they got, like, crucial infantry units, leaving the Axis or Allied forces much weaker, and of course, just causing attrition. So, I think that was one of those major errors, and it just makes it a bit funny when they kept focusing on those bunkers. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I'll learn something from it. This is Improving Soon. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye, everyone.